Welcome to Visualization of Transformation Chains, a GEF 3D demonstration. So what is a transformation chain? A transformation chain is a series of models connected via transformations. Here we have a domain UML model and a transformation add ID attributes resulting in a new UML model. Additionally, a trace model is created. The trace model connects the source model with the target model. Then a second transformation, add getters and setters, and again a UML model is created and a trace model. Finally, the last transformation transforms the UML model into an ER model and a trace model again. The whole transformation chain is set up and executed via UnityEye, and finally visualized with the UnityEye visualizer based on GEF 3D. We set up and execute the transformation chain with UnityEye. That is, we have 3 transformations configured here. They're set up and ready. Each transformation reading an input model and creating the output model and the trace model. We do not further describe UnityEye. Look at the UnityEye website for further information. Before we have a look at the whole transformation chain visualized with GEF 3D, let's have a look at the models visualized with Topcased UML. This is the first model. It was created manually using a Topcased UML model editor. Then a transformation adds ID attributes to this UML model, resulting in a new UML model. The second transformation adds getters and setters. Finally, the UML model is transformed into an ER model. The diagrams were layouted automatically. We later use a different layout algorithm, taking the information of the transformation chain into account. We now want to visualize the whole transformation chain. For that, we open the transformation chain using the UnityEye visualizer. The UnityEye visualizer is based on GEF 3D, adapting Topcased UML and other GEF-based editors for displaying the models on top of transparent layers. You can see the models just as previously. Here the first initial model with the library and so on. And now we can zoom through the first plane to the second model and to the third and to the fourth model. This time not only the models are displayed but also the traces. We can move the camera to look at the side of the models, and now we see all the planes and the traces. You see the very first model on top, then the traces created by the first transformation, the second model, and again the traces, and the third model, and the traces, and finally the ER model at the bottom of the stack. We can examine the transformation in detail. Here we see a single trace connecting a UML class with another UML class. Additionally, the transformation created a new attribute, here the ID attribute. We can turn on other traces which were filtered out previously to see how the transformation also transformed attributes of this class. Here, for example, the journal item attribute was copied into a target model element, again a journal item attribute. Of course, the transformation not only transforms the classes, but it also transformed the packages. Here we see a line connecting the source and the target package. As you can see, there's another line, that is another trace. Let's move the camera to see what the transformation created. Here we can see the transformation also created a new interface. We can now examine all the traces here. For example, here we see how the getters and setters were created. The traces are labeled to indicate which transformation rule created the trace. With JEF3D it is possible to examine details and then zoom out and see the overall picture. So we can examine whatever we're interested in. Since we display the whole transformation chain, we can follow the way of a single model element through the transformation chain. For example, here we can look at a single class which was transformed in the first transformation, adding the ID. Then in the second transformation, getters and setters were added. Finally, a table was created for that model element.